Yellow, it's me, Matt again. This is our second video, the tutorial, and today we are gonna be doing what you guys can see on the screen. So we're gonna be changing the design of the client, and we're gonna be introducing um, component, base component, and a component, right? We're creating this FPS component, which as everyone knows, tells the FPS. Right now we don't have a label for it, so it doesn't show the actual number like 60, whatever, 100, 120. What it does is we can resize it to different sizes, and it resizes right. It resizes this little arrow here, which changes depending on your FPS, so it goes round. And depending on the FPS, the arrow changes the key as well. The color, sorry. So between 0 and 20, it goes red. Between 20 and 40, it goes yellow, and then 40 and 60 goes red, right? So that's what we're going to be doing today. Um, there's quite a few things to get out of the way. It's a quite packed math based video, so I hope that don't put people off, and we're gonna dive right into it. Alrighty, so we're gonna be opening Pygame, right? But we left up last video, um, and we're gonna be first changing the design of the client, right? So I don't know if most people that have been watching the video know much about surfaces from Pygame, sorry. But how it works is, I'm gonna bring this screen to the forefront so everyone can see it. Right. So how it works at the moment. Um, in Pygame, what we have at the moment, gray screen that everyone saw us last time. There's one here. Yeah, it's a surface, right? So what we want to do is we want to create two different surfaces, yeah, that we're gonna write into that surface, like so, right? So how it works now, if you only have one surface and you want to create, we just create another one here. Let's say this is a button, right? A button, uh, and we want to create a button, and we set the X and Y positions to 0, 0. If you create it on here, it's gonna set here, right? So it's gonna be on the top left corner of the surface. What we're doing now is we're creating two surfaces, like so, and we can define which surface we want to send this button to, right? So if we want to send to change the size. Say if I want to change it, I want to set to 0, 0 position, yeah, 0x, 0y, but I'm setting to the yellow surface, so it's going to go there. But if I set this button to the same positions, 0, 0, x and y, but to the green surface, it's going to put it here, right? So this is what we're going to be doing today. So on here, we can create the most various things. We can set, oh, hello there. We can set to close, minimize the client. We can see, not sure if we're going to be able to do it, but like making, the client move like Windows, like when you grab it and move it like this. Try to do that in later episodes. But what we want to do is we can seclude this part, so we can add like maybe a different picture here for different users, or maybe the FPS clock here, or whatever tickles our fancy, right? We'll see how things goes. So let's dive into that now. I'm gonna move that again, open PyCharm, and what we want to do is we want to go into config. So as I said to you guys, we already have this Pygame surface screen, right? This is the one. Just a second, let me refresh my memory here. We are already filling that with this color. We just want to change the color, right? The color 60, 63, and 65. Is it still a shade of gray? Or is a darker shade of gray? You guys will be able to tell I'm very monochrome, like black, white, and gray. And then we're gonna create apply, and we're gonna create the main window, which I'm just gonna call window for now. So how it works, we're gonna create a Pygame dot surface, and we're gonna set the resolution here. And the same for you here. So what I want to do, yeah, I'm gonna bring this screen back again because it's gonna be easier to explain. What I want to do is have a little, see if I can do a little border here. So I want to have a little border. So you see I'm pulling back once, pulling back twice, and then moving to the middle, right? And then same here. Right, so you saw I minus 1 x. Let's put it back again. So did minus 1 x, minus 2 x, move 1 to the left, right? We'll put that one here. Maybe 2, right? Move 1 back again. What we want to do is the same here. I'm gonna do minus 1x, minus 2x, move to the middle, cut 1, move it back. Right? So this is gonna have a little border here for the main surface. And then this is gonna be our window, and this is gonna be our top bar. So we're gonna do that right now. Let me open this again. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our resolution. This one here. We're gonna get its x, so value 0, minus 2. Remember, as I said just now. And we're gonna leave this value for now. And then same for the window. Right, so we're gonna set the top bar here, which is it takes. So what this surface takes is width and height, right? I'm gonna set the height of the top bar to be 40 pixels. And then I'm gonna get the resolution of the height, yeah, minus 41. Let's see how that looks. So we probably should color that. So top bar, done. Yep. And passing a tuple here with a color 46, 47, 45. We can, I'll change that later. I don't know how it's gonna look in the end. And this is just a basic design for now. So we're gonna 100, 100, 100. Right? So we create the surface. We set its width and height. We set its color. Yeah. Now we have to place the surface onto the screen surface. Yeah. But in order to do that, we're gonna come here. We're gonna create another Pygame file. Call this place. Right. On this, we're gonna import config. I'm gonna set a class called screens. Okay. And we're gonna blip those screens we just created to the main screen. So the main screen was called the screen. And we're gonna blip the config top bar. And then here, I'm messing up. Yeah, messing up. Okay. And then we're setting the position on the X and Y to be one away. So instead of placing 0, 0 in the right corner, we're placing one to the right, one down. Yeah, this is for the top bar. Then we can copy here and do the same for the window. Right? The window is slightly different because the top bar has a height of 40 pixels. So we create 40 that. So we're gonna see if that runs. 41, it's on screens. No, sorry. So from client dot screens import, and I'm gonna do screens. All right, sorry. So what happened was I called the surface with small s and forgot parentheses here. So I should have known that was yellow before. So now it should be all good. So yeah, you guys see here. So once we run it, we got two different surfaces now. So we've got the top bar surface, and every time we want to draw stuff, we have to draw on the window here, which we created. Yeah, and then we have this little 1 pixel frame on the screen underneath it. Right. So now we are done with the design part. We can go into components and create the FPS one. Alrighty, so let's dive into the components, right? So get started. We're gonna go into client. We're gonna create a new folder and call that folder components. We're going to go into client again. We're gonna create a new folder called effects. Right. So here's where we're gonna keep our sound or images, anything graphic. Take that off. Okay, cool. Into components, we're going to create a new Python file and we're going to call that base component. Okay, there's going to be a class again, and this is a class called base. Okay, that in it. So how this is going to work? Pretty much every component, be it a button, be it a label, be it a table, be it whatever you want to call it, right? Each component needs an X and Y position so you can place it on the screen. It needs surface where it's going to be written on, and it needs a width and a height, right? So that's what we're going to do now. So we're going to do window, X, Y position, width, right? Now, so window, window. So I'm doing this pretty fast because I lost some of my footage and I have to do this again. Pretty annoying. Okay, so we've got the all set up. Okay. Also, we also going to be returning return pass. Okay. I'm going to return X and Y. And then we're going to do def again, return price. I'm going to return with so this is going to be a parent class, right? So a lot of components are going to be having this as a parent class. Also, we should return a surface from here as well, right? So this base component going to create a surface. At that surface, we're going to place stuff on, and then we're going to return the surface back. So we should create a surface here. So self surface. This is all going to be make a bit more sense once we do the next component, right? So self surface equals Pygame surface. Then we're going to get self dot yeah. Oh, what did I do with time? I should get. I apologize. Late now. So get size because the surface only needs the size, and we're gonna do Pygame dot. This is to be able to write images and stuff with fourth channel, so you can do like transparency and stuff. So this is just an option. Okay, once we create a component, we're gonna go do and create another component. So we're gonna create another Python file, and we're gonna call this FPS. FPS tab. Oof, I'm so bad with names. So FPS tab. Just rename that to lowercase as well. Rename is okay. Okay, so between FPS tab, and I do apologize, but I have to import map. I hope that doesn't put you off, because it for sure does put me off. I'm gonna import the base component. So from client dot components, base component import component. Right? I'm gonna create class. And we're gonna call that FPS tab. You're gonna have the base component as that of the class, the parent, initialized class init. So window, not my just x, y with I, and then we're gonna do base component. That's right. There you go. So, window x, y. Looking good. Right, cool. So from the base component, we can get the surface, we can get the x and y, we can get the height, we can get the width, right? So with that, we have to import. I think I forgot that. I think we have to. I don't think no. We do have to import image, right? So I already have this image here saved. I'm gonna copy it, and I'm gonna paste in assets. I'm gonna create another folder here. Sorry, check something else. I got distracted. Directory, we're gonna create an image folder, right? Between this image folder, we're gonna paste that image. I'm gonna show it to you guys. So if we go into copy, oh my god, where is it? Okay, so Explorer, right? Just open the best program in the world, Pi. Right. So this image is 500 pixels by 500 pixels, give or take, right? There's a few extra pixels to the right, to the left, right? But if we ignore that, let's say on the 250 by 250 here is the middle of the picture, right? And the middle of the picture coincide with the middle of the clock here, right? So what we want to do in the future is draw a line. So the line is going to have an x and y coordinate, which is going to be here in the middle, and another x and y coordinate, which is going to be whatever, right? This one here is going to change. This one's never going to change, right? Because the middle of the clock is always going to be here. But this one might change depending on the FPS, right? So it can go there, it can go there, it can go here. So if you see here, this is a circular pattern, right? So we have to use sine and cosine for that, unfortunately. But worry not, because I've done all the code. You just have to sit there and watch it, and hopefully get something out of this, right? So I'm gonna close this. I'm not gonna save. Close this again, and we're gonna import the image. So stuff the file name goes to okay, slash assets, not assets, image fps.png. Okay, we are gonna get an image. Stuff that image equals image.load file name. Probably don't need that file name. Okay. Yeah. One last line. And then we're gonna the image well Pygame dot transform dot scale, and then the image, and then the size we want to scale. So we're gonna do a self dot get size, right? So we're gonna go, this get size comes from the base component, right? So go back to the base component in here. If we do a get size, it returns the width and the height, and then we pass it here, right? So what this is doing, we are rescaling the image depending on the size of the constructor, right? So if the image was like 500 by 500, right? But let's say we want to create 100 by 100 square, right? The picture should match that square. So that's what we're doing here, just making sure the image rescale to the surface that we are actually drawing on. Once we do that, we're going to create a method called render. We're going to pass an FPS here. Don't worry about this now. We're going to watch this in a bit. And we're just going to render the image to the surface, return the surface, and make sure this is all working, right? So I'm going to get the surface. So self the surface. I'm going to fill that now for right. Doing big gray, sorry. 120, 120, 120. I'm gonna surface dot blit. We're gonna blit the image. Image to the position 0, 0. Okay. So we fill that, and then we're gonna draw this surface, the surface that we created inside the base component, back to the window that the surface that we getting for the constructor here, right? So we make sure that writes back to the right place. So self the window, we're gonna delete right? So for when we delete self that surface, then we delete into the position we're passing is also get pass, right? So now if we go back into screens, and we import that. So from client dot, sorry, I'm obviously components import FPS tab, right? So we're gonna create, instantiate now. We create an object. We're gonna call it FPS. FPS equals, so FPS tab import the class FPS tab. We're gonna pass the window that we want to draw on. So I'm gonna big dot, what was it again? That. This is an example, okay? We're gonna change that in a bit. So we're gonna write to the x equals 0, y equals 0, and then 20 by 20 pixels long and tall. Okay? So if, ooh, what have I done now? All right, so I realized what I was missing, so I just didn't put a parenthesis here when I was calling this method. All right, it should be all working now. So let's run it together. And it's not working, right? It didn't show up anything. So let's go back and see what happened. I put not calling render. That's it. So I create the, I instantiate the class FPS tab, but I didn't call the render method, right? So what's going on here? Everything froze. Oh, there we go. Back on again. That was weird. So if we call FPS here, we're going to call render, and we're going to just pass a dumb number for now. See how what happens. Right. So we see we are creating a surface and replacing the surface in the top bar here. That's by 20 by 20. That's x equals 0, y equals 0, right? Can you just change that for now? So we're gonna go and place that into a window, which is the main window. Same fix. So x equals 100, y equals 100, and the size equals 100 as well. Okay, just so we can see better. So we can see it slightly better. Okay. So what we have to do now is draw the line between the middle of the image to the actual FPS that is we are running at. Okay. To do that, we have to do a few things beforehand. So I'm just going to create a variable here called angle. Here, right? I've already created a couple events here. So if I press key up or if I press key down, the config angle should go up or down, right? And we should be able to print on the screen, right? On the console. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back to screens, and I'm gonna pass that config that angle here. I press up and see it's going up. If I press down, it goes down, right? So that should be the radians for us to see the angle here, because remember we can start the line as 0 here, but we have to go where the line goes. Okay, in order to do that, let's go back here, and now is where the fun starts. Okay, so let's check here how to do that again, because I can't remember by head. Okay, so we're going to create this variable called x and y. Okay, for x we use map class. and we pass in the FPS map sign. We're using the FPS, and then we are multiplying that by the size of the arrow we want it to be, right? So, so from here, how big we want the arrow to be, like, you know, I would say 1, 2, 2/3 of the 3, 1/3 of the whole width, right? So we're going to multiply that by self the width divided by 3. Okay? I'm going to do the same here, but with the height, because it might be that someone for some reason changes, it makes it a bit longer, like a rectangle instead of like a square. I don't, just in case. And then we're gonna add self dot width divided by 2, right, which is the center of the screen. So this is the center of the screen. This is the length, the arrow thing. So self dot right, same thing, divided by 2. Okay. And then we're gonna draw Pygame dot draw dot line the self dot surface. The color is going to be red for now. Change that later. We're going to set the start. So we're drawing a line, right? So the line starts at some point and ends at some point. So same thing here. So the start is going to be middle of the screen. What have I done here? So many parentheses. Can't see anything. And then the end is going to be the X and Y there, right? For now, it's not right. For now, it's wrong, but I'll show to you guys. And then we're just going to set the width of the arrow to be 2 pixels long, 2 pixels large. Sorry. If we run this, hopefully it's run. Not running. Why is it not running? Right. I realized I was not running. Just put the view. Yeah, drawing the line. So obviously, once it was drawing the line, and it was drawing over it. Okay. So we can see we actually cannot see shit because it's under the image, right? So we have to delete the image before deleting the line. And now we should be able to see. There we go. So how it works now, we are passing these numbers through FPS, right? It's doing some crazy maths there. And then it goes up and down depending on the number you give, right? So the lower bound that we want is this minus 3.6. The higher bound is this dot 0.4, right? So, sorry, this is actually really fun to do. So let's get it again. So 0.4, create an array here. Self.array. And then 0.4 is the upper value, and the lower value was 3.6, right? Okay, so let me close this. So let's say we're passing the real FPS, right? So the FPS in our case goes from 0 to 60, right? How are we meant to, let's say if you get the FPS 30, right, which is the midway between 0 and 60, and the arrow key should go right in the middle here, right? How are we going to know what is the middle value here, right? Between 3.6 and 0.4, what is the middle value? We actually don't know. We could do like the math and get it, like, right? That's 50% of those two values. But the easiest way to do it is by normalizing them. So normalizing, we can draw that on the screen. It would be, oh, actually I've done it before, right? Done it before for the other video. So normalizing what it's going to do. It's going to get a minus 3.6 to 0.4, and it's going to normalize to 0, 1. So 0.3, negative 3.6 is going to be 0, positive 0.4 is going to be 1, and it's going to be the same with 0 to 60, right? So let's say we got the value 30 from FPS, right? It's going to be right in the middle here, right in the middle here, right in the middle here, right in the middle here. Probably a poor example. But once we get the middle value, we can convert to this value, right? So let's say it was, I don't know, 25 around here. 25 is a percentage of that. So once we convert that to the same unit, right? Because here is different units, right? So our 0 is 0, but the 0 there is not negative 3.6, all right? So once we convert to the same unit, we are able to convert. It's probably easier if I show you rather than explaining. Okay, so I'm gonna just minimize this, and I'm gonna do that, right? So if I do a variable here called normalize, sorry, normalize, and I'll do FPS minus 0, which is the lower bound of the FPS, divided by the upper bound minus the lower bound, okay? So we get the normalization of the FPS that is coming through here, because it could be like 15, could be 20, could be whatever. So we're going to normalize that between 0 and 1. And then we're going to compare that to these ones here, right? So we're going to do the inverse. Instead of normalizing to that, we're going to denormalize it. So if we go denormalize, I'm going to pass the normalize times self dot array upper bound minus self dot array lower bound, okay, plus self dot array lower bound, okay, and then we can pass this denormalize here. Now it should be working hopefully once we changed the screens. Once we change that to receive the actual FPS. So let's get the FPS. Just double check how to do it again because I can't remember. go into we go what do we here because it's easier. Config dot clock dot and then we're gonna get config FPS. Then we're gonna set the FPS to 60. So it's gonna set this clock to 60. It's gonna refresh the screen every 60 frames. Yeah, and then we're gonna pass here the config clock dot get FPS, and hopefully it should be working, but it's not working for some reason. Just double check. Because the FPS is 10. So right, so if you change the FPS to 60, boom. Right? Yeah, it's not changing colors yet, but that's quite easy to do. We're gonna do that together now. So we go back into FPS. We're gonna instead of passing color here, we're gonna call a class get color, and we're gonna pass the FPS. That's coming from there, right? We're gonna go here, get color of FPS. I'm just gonna say, look, if the FPS is minus 20, return the color red. Okay. If FPS is minus 40, return the color yellow. Else, return the color green, which is RGB. There we go. Go here, and we run again. Boom, green. Go into config and change that to like 30. Run, boom, yellow. You see? Yeah, that's it. It's a quick one. If you watch the video to here, I should definitely congratulate you because this one's been a long one. I'd like also you to drop a message and let me know what you liked about the video, what you didn't like about the video, if there's anything I could improve, and I'll see you next time.